Let me ask you something. When was the last time you watched an action movie, a real one, and actually felt something? Not a CGI spectacle, not franchise table setting. Just a guy, broken, funny, and absolutely done with everyone's bullshit, somehow saving the day anyway. That's The Last Boy Scout. And that's Bruce Willis at the absolute peak of his powers. Released in 1991, directed by Tony Scott and written by Shane Black, the man behind Lethal Weapon, The Last Boy Scout is not a subtle film. It's loud, rude, cynical, and absolutely relentless. Willis plays Joe Hallenbeck, a disgraced Secret Service agent turned cut-rate private detective. He's broke, his marriage is a disaster, and nobody in his life respects him. Sound familiar? It should. It's basically Die Hard's John McClane if you took away the skyscraper and added another 5 years of life, beating the friggin' hell out of him. His counterpoint in this cracker of a movie is Damon Wayans, who plays Jimmy Dix, a washed-up footballer who teams up with Hallenbeck to take down a corrupt sports empire. On paper, it's a buddy cop formula. In execution, it's something sharper. A movie that uses humor and violence to say something real about loyalty, masculinity, and what it means to keep going when everything's friggin' fallen apart. Die Hard made Bruce Willis. Full stop. 1988, Nakatomi Plaza, barefoot and bleeding. He redefined what an action hero could be. McClane wasn't Schwarzenegger. He wasn't Stallone. He was a regular guy with terrible luck and a great mouth. That relatability was the magic. But here's my take, and I'll stand by it. The Last Boy Scout is where Willis refined that character into something sharper. Hallenbeck is funnier, darker, and more self-aware. The quips hit harder because they come from a man with nothing left to prove and even less left to lose. Take this moment when Hallenbeck is getting beaten up in an alley, and rather than beg for mercy, he just starts talking, and it is simple but effective. Ain't life a bitch? 3 words, no setup, no punchline. Just a man so fundamentally unbothered by his own suffering that it becomes almost philosophical. That's not a line reading, that's a performance. That's Bruce Willis understanding exactly who this character is and trusting the audience to get it. This is the Die Hard formula evolved. McClane screamed at his problems. Hallenbeck smirks at them. He's been through the fire before. He knows the score. The secret weapon of this film is what Willis does alongside Damon Wayans. Wayans is fast, loud, and reactive. Willis is slow, dry, and immovable. They shouldn't work together, and that's precisely why they do. There's a moment where Jimmy Dix is going on, talking fast, trying to be charming, and Hallenbeck just stares at him and delivers this.
Nobody likes you. Everybody hates you. You're gonna lose. Smile, you fuck.
This is Willis at his purest. The line is harsh, it's funny, and buried inside it is actually a kind of tough love encouragement. Hallenbeck is giving Jimmy exactly what he needs. No softening, no consolation, just brutal clarity wrapped in a smirk. It's brilliant writing, and Willis delivers it like a man who has genuinely stopped giving a rat's ass what you think of him, and it is all captured in one classic line from the movie.
Now, this being the 90s, you can't just walk up to a guy and smack him in the face. You gotta say something cool first, you know what I mean?
And then, he punches the guy anyway. That's why this film works. The action is great. Tony Scott knew how to frame chaos, but what holds it together is this performance. Willis isn't trying to be likable, he's just being honest. And in 1991, that was radical for the genre. Let's talk about what Bruce Willis meant. Not just to action cinema, to the culture. At a time when movies were full of chiseled gods with one-liners and no problems, Willis showed us something different. A man who was funny because life is absurd. A man who won not because he was the best, but because he refused to quit. He made imperfection cinematic. He made wisecracks feel like armor. From Die Hard to Pulp Fiction to The Fifth Element, even his comedies, even his weird choices, Willis carried this essential quality. He never seemed to take himself too seriously. He knew the game. He played it with a grin, and audiences loved him for it. The Last Boy Scout is the purest expression of that quality. Hallenbeck has every reason to be bitter, angry, and checked out. Instead, he's darkly funny. He's alive in his irrelevance. He keeps going, not out of nobility, but out of sheer, stubborn refusal to let the world win. That is a message that lands hard in 2026. We are not exactly swimming in joy out here. Bruce Willis is not making movies in 2026. You know why. And if you don't, to recap, his family announced in 2022 that he had been diagnosed with aphasia, later confirmed as frontotemporal dementia. He retired from acting.
The man who spent 30 years making us laugh, making us cheer, making us feel like maybe one regular guy could hold it together, he's fighting a different kind of battle now. That's not a punchline. That's just life. And it's a brutal one. But what he built, that spirit, that specific brand of don't take yourself too seriously heroism, it doesn't disappear with him. It lives in every frame of Die Hard, of The Last Boy Scout, of Pulp Fiction. It's preserved, it's permanent. He gave us a template for being tough and human at the same time. You can't take that back. What you can ask, though, what I'm asking right now, is who steps into that space? The 2026 action landscape is all spectacle, no soul. Franchises are assembly line products. CGI has replaced grit. Everyone is so desperately earnest. We've lost the art of the smirk. We've forgotten that sometimes the most courageous thing a man can do on screen is just shrug and keep walking. We need someone to carry that torch. We need an actor, or maybe an actress, maybe not, who can look at this depressing world, wink at it, and make us believe for 2 hours that none of it matters quite as much as we thought. The Last Boy Scout is not a perfect movie. It's messy, it's politically incorrect by modern standards, and it absolutely does give a shit. That's half the appeal. But it is a perfect performance. Willis took a character who had every excuse to give up and made him somehow the most alive person in every frame. That's craft, that's instinct, that's something you can't manufacture. Go watch it. Watch it for the action, the laughs, the Shane Black dialogue firing on all cylinders. But watch it, most of all, to remember what this kind of movie felt like and what this kind of actor could do. Bruce Willis may not be on our screens anymore, but Joe Hallenbeck still is, still smirking, still refusing to lose. In a world this heavy, that counts for a lot. Do yourself a favor, go watch it, and learn not to give too many fecks in life. And subscribe to the channel. Or don't. We don't care.